Underground radio.
What does it mean to be underground? It means you gotta be free to be underground. Yo, you got your own key when you're underground. If you're listening to me, yo, you underground.
Well, good evening and yeehaw to all you Calgarians out there. We are live streaming through JessTV, JessFM, the Underground Radio C platform. We are also streaming live through the NCG television network in Italy. So good morning to those in Italy. I know it is very early for you, and sometimes I say hello and sometimes I don't. But today I'm going to say hello and wish you guys a very awesome July over there, because here it's hot. I swear, it's like we've got Italy weather over here. It's super hot. It's awesome. We got Calgary Stampede going on. We wrap up tomorrow for the last day. So one of you that have not been down to the grounds, I suggest get down there. Lots of shows going on, lots of music, lots of fun stuff going on. We've had some amazing performers here in our city, including Deadmau5 was live on stage the other night. We've had amazing country singers. We had, this name just escaped me. I was going to say Sam Hunt, but he wasn't here. But anyway, if you check out the lineup, it's been crazy. It's been amazing. It's been insane. We've got Nelly coming in tomorrow for the last show of Stampede. We had Youngblood coming in, but he is no longer coming in. That's okay. But, you know, surprises. So Calgary Stampede is a mix of amazing music. So we have not just, because it's Western themed, doesn't mean that all we have is Western music. We do have country music. We have rock music. We have anything under the sun, really, that comes in headlines. And we've got various tents that happen here. We've got a Cowboys tent. We also have the Badlands tent, which headlines amazing like EDM music and a lot of different DJs that come in. It's just insane and incredible. So if you haven't, if you're new to this channel or you don't even know what the Calgary Stampede is, I suggest that you go either YouTube or Instagram, wherever, go check it all out, because again, amazing acts are happening all over the city. And again, tomorrow we wrap up. We also have the rodeo here as well. And what's incredible, I just want to briefly touch upon this. If you don't know anything about the rodeo, the rodeo here in Calgary is preceded by various different rodeos leading up to this day. So a lot of the cowboys that come through, they are true, real cowboys that have been on the road for like months. And they go through different rodeos, through different little towns leading up, and they win their awards. They come through and they have all these competitions, whether it's barrel racing or chuck wagon racing or different things that happen with them, and they go through and then they come along to the Calgary Stampede. It's kind of like the finale of their tour in a way, and then they can win huge amount of money, prizes, and other scholarships and amazing things. So it's so cool, and it's just amazing to see what happens here in our city. But please go check all that out. It's so super cool. Now this evening, I have just somebody different coming on the show. I haven't really, a lot of times I've had rap artists come on. I've had a little bit of country music people come on. I've had actors and actresses and movie producers and all that. But today I want to kind of dig into a little bit of Calgary culture, because Calgary is known for a lot of rap and hip hop. That's what we've got a lot going on. We have a lot of country music here as well. But sometimes there's these hidden genres that float around in our city that are not always headlined on stage. We've had a few come through the city. We've had like Kill It come through. We've had, I know the names. It's just not, it's on the tip of my tongue, but I can't even just like get them in my head right now. But anyway, so just kind of more like rock and kind of like hardcore stuff and just some other various genres. So I'm going to have my guest come in. I'm going to have him introduce himself, and you will kind of get a feel for what he does, because he's like a newer, like he's an underground artist. He's new to the scene, and I wanted him to come on the show because he's one of those artists that I know behind the scenes. I've seen what he's been doing the past few years, and I've been wanting him to come on the show, but also to be able to work hard, to be able to show what he's got and go, hey, like, I'm ready to come on. I'm ready. I've been performing all these things. And I think Calgary might just be getting ready for it. So I wanted you guys to be able to see it kind of here first. Even though he's been floating around, you'll see what I mean. So welcome to the show.
Hi, everyone. How's it going?
Cult5 to the Connected with Cari. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me, Cari. I appreciate it.
You're very welcome. Now, this is your very first radio.
It is, yeah. My
You've
very
been
first time being on radio.
First time on radio. So I welcome you with open arms, and I hope that this experience will enlighten you a little bit of what this culture is all about. So first of all, we're going to dig into all of it. I always have my guests introduce themselves first, because then it's a little bit easier to be like, if someone pops on, they're like, who the hell is this?
Yeah. No,
then they know. Then they know, right?
That.
So you're going to take it away. I'm going to give you the solo screen, and you're just going to go for it.
Yeah, for sure. So what's up, everyone? My name is Cult5. I am an emo rap and punk grunge rock artist from Calgary, Alberta. I don't just make music, though. I also make vlogs on YouTube, and I do some other stuff on the side as well, like fashion. And yeah, my main focus is making music, though. And yeah, that's what I do.
Okay, well, you don't just do that.
No, I mean, like, that's the main thing I do. I can say I'm a rock star, but there's a lot more to it. Like, yeah, like I said, I make vlogs. I make, I own a clothing store, and I do stuff like that. But my main focus is on being a rap artist and a rock artist.
Right, absolutely. So take us through a little bit about your musical journey. With all artists that do come on, it's interesting to find out a little bit about how they get into music. And of course, like, well, what's the name about? Why did you choose it? Where is that from?
Yeah, for sure.
So we'll go into that.
Okay, so I started making music when I was 17 years old. So back in 2019, I think. And I'm 23 years old now. So I've been making music for a while. And yeah, I got into it through kind of seeing my peers in high school. Some of them were like starting to make music and like starting to get into it. And I've always kind of had like a thing for it. Like, always loved seeing, rappers and rock artists on stage. And I grew up being someone who listened to the radio a lot. And I kind of, I liked radio music, but it wasn't until I found rap music that I was like, yeah, this is the kind of music that I like listening to. These are the kind of people who I look up to, and the kind of stuff that I want to be doing. And high school is when I kind of like really delve into it. And between listening to music on Spotify and seeing the people around me who like really fucked with rap music a lot more than I did, kind of seeing like how they appreciate the different genres, me wanting to pick up off of that and kind of do it for myself, that was something that I wanted to do. So come now down the line, a couple more years later, I've been working on it. And I didn't want to be someone who just does like some typical pop rap, or be someone who makes that kind of style of music where it's like every person starts off with, where it's like backpack rap, or like some boom bap style of rap. I want to be someone who makes a different type of genre. And while this music does exist already, I feel like I've kind of taken it and done it in my own way, where it like represents me the best. And so yeah, that's why I make emo rap music. And from emo rap music, I kind of delve off into more rock music, and like finding out about rock artists, Kurt Cobain, Alice Cooper, Motley Crue, bands like that, and like their style. Big one being Marilyn Manson as well. Those are some like big artists that I listen to a lot, and that I like a lot, that kind of drove me into wanting to make rock music a lot more. And so that was the other genre that I decided to take up along with making rap music. And for me, that's just what I do. Like, it goes hand in hand with itself, and both feel like equal to me, feel really easy to do. And yeah, so that's the music side of things, like how I got into it with music. And then with my name, Cari was asking about my name. So my name is Cult5, Cult, CULT, and the number 5 IVE. So somewhere on the screen too, like in the bottom corner or something. But so how I got that name, how I gave myself that name was it the cult part of my name takes the idea of you see famous celebrities and anyone with a little bit of traction to a lot of traction, even like someone like the Pope, about an actual figurehead who kind of rules or governs over something, right? And you see how people who are mainly fans or even people who have no relation but will hear about these celebrities or people like that, and how it only takes like a second to have them want to gravitate towards these people, and how much power a person like a celebrity really has over another person. And for me, I wanted to take the cult part of my name and have that represent how I feel about celebrities. Like I don't ever want to be looked at in a way where like you worship me on a level that's something more than human, is what I'm trying to say. I don't ever want to be looked at in that kind of way. I want to be looked at as like a real person. You can come and talk to me. You can be someone who's uh, you know in my DMs and I'll respond, or like you can come up to my show and actually see me like live. I could be doing this on radio, pop out and get to show off and get to show up for myself, and people will understand that I'm still like a human being that you can talk to, and you can appreciate, but I might just have a level of status that comes with that, versus you see like A-list celebrities, and sometimes that amount of fame gets to their head, and I don't ever want to have that be attached to myself, and I don't ever want to be represented in a way that's more than just maybe like as a rock star, I would say. And then the 5 part of my name is something a little more personal to me, a little more special to me. It's I like angel numbers. If anyone knows about that, spirituality, anything like that. So I'm huge into not religion but spirituality specifically, and I like things like angel numbers. And my favorite one is 555. So I even got it tatted on me, but I took the number 5 because it represents something sacred to me. It's a number of stability. It's a number of power, and a number of change is what it's represented in spirituality specifically. It's also, you can also Google that, by the way. And so yeah, I just decided to take that number and throw it into my name. So it's just Cult 5, but I want to like have like a fancy spin on it. I want to be a one named artist, but like have like a nice little twist on it. So I put the number in to go along with spelling out 5, and that's it. That's it for me.
That's actually really cool. I didn't even know
Thank
that.
you. I appreciate that.
It's one of those things where when you come into an industry, that it can quickly get to your head.
You can, yeah. That's a big thing why I decided to want that as like a notion, not necessarily a representation of me, but like something that's recognized that like, hey, don't make me bigger than I am. I'm still a person.
Well, it's very true, because often all of the guests that I've had on that are in a higher power, whether they've been movie producers or
Yeah,
huge singers, like I've had Prada West on here, and he has a massive following and all that. And it's just like, it's humbling even to me to be able to have them on the show.
yeah,
But this type of a show gives the audience an opportunity to see the artists for who they really are, that person
yeah.
for who they really are. Because I don't believe in, the clout or this or that. I like to
Nah,
have these real vulnerable conversations on the show and be like, hey, like, who are you truly? And what are you standing for? And what are you doing? And how are you contributing to our community in a way
yeah,
that we can truly, look up to and be like, yeah. So when you say, the cult, to me, everyone gets these images
yeah. Of course.
and what their own meaning of what cult means,
Yeah.
right? So we all, I don't know, some of us may have gone down the rabbit hole and went like, oh, super dark, and
Oh, yeah,
like
absolutely. And that's the other
cult
side
is
of
so
it.
bad, and then they're like, oh, we're thinking like Ouija boards and all that,
No,
right?
yeah, 100%. I get that. I mean, that's a part of it. It's like I guess a shocking kind of thing. I want
Yeah,
someone to have their own outlook on me and not like follow what someone else is thinking or like what someone else might say about me. Like understand and do the research for yourself. Don't just like follow what someone else is saying. And that goes hand in hand with the entire idea, is that like, don't follow me as like a cult leader. I want you to think
Yeah.
about why I chose that as my name. I want you to think about like the things that I'm doing, and understand, if you're going to follow along with what I'm doing, if you're going to support me as an artist, you're going to want to be around at my show, stuff like that, then you'll be there for the right reasons, not through ignorance, but through knowing exactly who I am and why I do what I do, why I say what I do, and why I'm right here in the
Yeah.
first place doing stuff like this, you know?
Well, exactly. Because again, anybody can look at your social media, anybody can read who you are, but then it's like there's not a true understanding unless you actually hear it, as they say, from the horse's mouth.
Exactly.
So it's
It
good to
gets overglorified
hear. Yeah.
sometimes.
Because I didn't even know, like, I've known you for a long time. And it's like, I
Yeah.
was like very interested in like, why did you choose the name that you chose? And I
Yeah, that's
myself,
fair.
right, it's like, okay, well, yeah, okay, I know who you are, whatever. But it's like, I don't know, like, why did you choose your name?
No, yeah, and that's the thing, like, you might know one level of who I am, but, like,
Yeah,
unless you're in my inner circle, you won't know me specifically enough to the point where, like, everything will make sense. No one's gonna know
yeah,
100% of who you are and, like, why you do what you do, but that's a part of the reason, you know? Like,
yeah,
if you're going to look at me, if you're going to listen to me, if you're going to have an opinion, it's gotta come from the right perspective, otherwise you're judging me in blind ignorance, like, and
yeah,
that's not fair to me as a person, but a lot of people love to do that, and
yeah,
that's something that I want to have recognized overall, you know?
yeah. Well, you just call the kettle black, as they say, because I too get that, and people are like, why are you
Everyone
doing
does,
this? Why you
100%.
do that? And it's exactly for this very reason of like, let's be specific and clear of what are people doing out in the communities to help each other, and why are they in music? Why are they doing the things that they do? And it's like to bring an understanding of, like you said, people are slowly learning who you are, what you stand for. And I
Yeah,
love that you added the spirituality into your
thank you.
name, because I too am a very spiritual person. And I believe that when we are dealing with a higher power and we are called in certain situations to be able to do what we're doing, it's
Yeah.
kind of giving reverence
Yeah,
in a
yeah,
way as well, right? So it's kind of like, so I totally get it. And I'm just like, that's also pretty cool.
yeah, thank you, I appreciate that.
I totally love that. So when you were 17,
Yeah,
listening to Spotify, laying on your
yeah,
bed,
yeah.
just kind of like scrolling through the playlist,
Basically, that's how it happened, other than playing
right?
video games. That was around the time, yeah.
GTA, you're like
Yeah,
listening
yeah.
to music on GTA. So as you're laying in bed, what is like one of the go-to songs that was like, if you were down or if you were like frustrated and you're like, you know what, I just
If
need,
I was sad, if I was, like, in a mood like that, I mean, my sad music taste has changed very, very much from when I was a lot younger. Like, I honestly don't even try to listen to music like that much anymore because of, like, how it
yeah,
affects me physically and mentally, but, back then, I was in, like, a weird dark spot, so, like, I don't know, I would off the top of my head, one of the main artists that I like to listen to was Black Bear at the time. Black Bear made a lot of really good kinda darker tracks, kind of stuff
yeah,
stuff that was, like, you could feel good while listening to a sad song, Music like that. It, like, had a good beat to it, but it was still, like, really dark topics and stuff that, would carry you through, I guess is the best way to put it.
dark topics to carry you through. Okay, and then so Black Bear made an influence on you in a type of way where you're like, I don't want to make music like this.
I mean, yeah, that's a good way to put it. Yeah, he wasn't an influence in the traditional sense. He was an influence in just how I wanted to feel better, you could
Yeah.
say. Yeah.
So anybody now listening, when you go to Spotify and you flip open a song, you can kind of say, we learn from the music that we're actually listening to, and
Oh,
we can
100%.
realize and we find ourselves through music and
Yeah,
go,
yeah.
you know what? I like this song. I don't like this song. And that it's kind of how you formed yourself and
Yeah,
your
yeah.
music of going like, hey, I love this track. I want to do something similar, but not quite like that. Or I don't like this, this is good, or whatever. So good for you, because oftentimes we listen to music on like autopilot.
That's
If you know
true.
what I
Yeah,
mean.
a lot of people just turn on whatever they have, or like they find a cool song, but they don't actually like take the time to understand what the lyrics are saying, and that's something that's pretty big with popular songs as well.
Yeah. Take us through when you're writing your music.
Oh, I don't write music. I don't ever write music. I actually freestyle music. Every song that I make, from like, you could say the very first tracks that I made ever, which is like maybe a handful, 3 to 5
Yeah.
songs, and those are songs on Spotify anyone could listen to. But my music since then,
Yeah.
from and and that was like maybe like a month of making music at first. I would write, but now ever since I've all I do is freestyle music, so it all just comes
Okay.
off the top of my head.
So when you freestyling music,
Yeah, yeah. Just to
and
clarify.
even if you're writing music, because I would just want to touch on them both,
Yeah.
this is a choice of lyrics.
Mm.
So when you're thinking of the lyrics, what is going through your head of like, are you specifically thinking about those lyrics, or are you just, coming up with it, going like, this is what's rhyming or whatever,
Oh, no,
or do they
100%.
mean
Yeah.
something? Take us through
I'm
that
you could say
process.
like a very story-driven artist. Not story in the sense that like I'm trying to create a false reality. No, no, no. I mean, just I care about the structure of a song very deeply, in how I want something to sound. I want you to feel something. I want you to picture something. And when I make my music, I make it in a way that if I was blind, or if I was someone who was listening to my song for the first time every single time, I want to be able to understand this in a way that it's like watching a video, or like it's like painting a picture. I want you to have the full image of where I'm at, what I'm doing, why it's like this. And songs are how they are. They're structured in a very poetic way, and that's especially with rap music. It always comes in poetry. Rap is poetry, and so the while I can't always give you the clearest picture, I always try to make my music from a place of, this is the beginning of the story, this is the middle of the story, this is the end of the story, and this is how I want you to understand it in the way that I made it.
Yeah. Every single song means something, whether it's to the artist or whether it's to the listener.
Oh
So when
yeah.
you're
Oh yeah.
creating the music, are you trying to always make something for the audience or for yourself, or do you intertwine it?
So I used to make music for the audience. I used to make songs that I thought someone else would like, but excuse me, I had a burp. I
It's okay. It's
thank you.
dry over here.
I've more so, over just practice and learning and like getting better with making music, I've come to only really make music for myself. And not to say that in a selfish way, but I just know
Yeah.
that if I like the song, someone else is gonna like the song anyways. I would hope that whoever is a fan of me likes me because they like me, and doesn't just like me because of, like I said, what someone else tells them, or like whatever they perceive about me. And that's why I make music for myself now.
Right. I think it goes back to like peer pressure in high school.
100%. Yeah.
Like you want everyone to like you, and it's like, oh, I want everyone
Yeah,
to like my music and
that
this
just
and that.
carries through into adulthood as well. Like, people still
Right.
deal with peer pressure, still deal with, thinking outside of themselves, they need validation from something else. And, that sometimes takes
Yeah.
into music, and like, major hits on radios often are songs that are made for another person. Like, they're written by another person, and they are described for another person, and you just have the person who's singing it making that hit so that it sounds good for the radio. But the best music always comes from someone who's doing it for themselves.
Well, Ed Sheeran and Eric Bellinger are two of the greatest songwriters in like history, which is
Yeah.
incredible, because if you don't, so many artists out there have, like Ed Sheeran's written so much, but it's how the artist takes that music in and create it and twist around, because Ed Sheeran's not always like, hey, it's got to be word for word for word.
No, no.
He'll let you play around with it and make it your own style.
Yeah.
So if someone were to write for you, would you take it and just go and run with it? Or would you be like, nah, I don't want your music?
No, yeah, that you said it for me. I would not take someone else's music. And not to say that I don't appreciate people, having a job and doing what they do best. But for me, I would never work with a ghostwriter. It just doesn't feel real to me. And like I said, I freestyle all my music. So for me to work with someone else's lyrics that didn't come from like it didn't come from my soul, so it doesn't mean much to me, you know. And like unless I'm doing it
Yeah.
for a movie where I have to follow a script, I'm getting paid contractually to make this song like this. There's
Right.
no way that I'm ever gonna work with a ghostwriter because it's just not real to me.
Good for you. Because
Thank
again,
you.
it goes back to the whole peer pressure of performance and going under somebody else's wing, going, hey, you know, this is actually what happened to a lot of these singers that were signed with Disney.
Yeah,
They
yeah,
were
yeah.
all completely made to be like, hey, you're under contract for 5 years and you have to follow everything that we set out for you, all the writers put out for
Yeah,
you
yeah.
and everything.
That's a 360 deal. That's
All right.
so
And
with a lot
then
of deals like that. Yeah,
yeah, and then they're like, okay, we're done our contract. That's why so many other artists like Selena Gomez, Taylor Swift, Britney Spears, all those guys went from that Disney pop into a whole nother genre sometimes. And everyone's like,
yeah.
whoa,
I
what
mean,
happened?
with those people specifically that you mentioned, it's a little bit different too in the fact that at a certain age, some Disney stars get into music for the sake of building an image. You know, they
Yeah,
come from being like young teens, young kids, and you know they have to break out of that. So, what with Selena Gomez or Ariana Grande, artists like that, they got into the
yeah,
music scene because that's how they were made to break out of being a Disney star and turn into an actual star for themselves, like have their own career off of that. And you know, with some of their earlier music pieces, they had that kind of style because the point was to show they were made to show that they aren't who they used to be, and you know they're moving into a different place, you could say.
right. And they're creating from their own self. They're not using somebody else's music and going, hey, some of them still get ghostwriters, but not all of their music is completely ghostwritten. So
I
it's
mean, no,
interesting to
yeah,
see.
like now you could say that. From before though, a good chunk of it you could say.
Oh yeah, a lot of it was back then. Oh my goodness, I've got like this dry throat. Stampede, yeehaws, right? Going down there.
No, I
If
feel that. I went
you
to Stampede for three days this time instead of just going
right,
for one.
if you could perform at Stampede, would you?
Absolutely. Yeah, Coca-Cola stage. 100%.
Coca-Cola
Badlands,
stage?
you
Oh,
were mentioning it
Badlands.
before when I was backstage. Yeah, I would 100%. I would hit that stage. Yeah.
Right, it's a whole vibe in itself.
It
I just
is.
wanted to touch on that because for those that are starting out, there's an actual kind of path to go along to getting into performing like that. Because I do
Yeah,
want
yeah,
to talk about your performance and I want to talk about all that. So a
for
lot of
sure.
times, you know, you can start off writing your music or, you know, whether you're writing or whether you're performing or whether you're just freestyling, however it
Yeah.
goes, there is an actual like pathway of going like, okay, you also need to perform for college, like university stages and all that.
Yeah,
And then you
that's
also have to perform at festivals
yeah.
as well. And then you can also perform if you want, like at a school or some smaller local, like charity
Yeah,
and
yeah.
places like that. And then they consider you for something bigger, like Badlands and all that stuff. So,
Yeah.
you know, work your way
It kind
up.
of depends. Like at a certain I can agree to that. At a certain level, you have to take the opportunities that you're given, and
Yeah.
you know, a lot of it is done in that kind of way. Like you do this and then you do this next, and then you know, you start with small shows, then move up a level. But there's also the option to be an artist who chooses specifically how you want to do shows. Like I'm an artist who wants to do festival shows, but there's artists who
Yeah.
want to be like Taylor Swift doing arena shows and stuff like that, you know? And personally, that's not my kind of gig, but you know, like that's the kind of thing that I'm talking about is you can choose different levels at a certain place. But yeah, definitely when you start out, you don't get that option. You kind of have to do what you have to do till you get to that place.
Right. So let's talk about getting into performing
Sure.
and how you got into that and take us through a little bit about how you feel about it.
Yeah, yeah,
I
for
know it's
sure.
like,
So
oh, that's awesome, but no,
I
seriously, like
recently
take us through like your your origin story, if you will, of performing, because
Yeah,
some
yeah,
people are
for
like,
sure.
oh, some people are like, oh, hey, I'm scrolling and I choose you to come perform for a show, but it's not always like that. So take
I'm
us
more than happy to
through,
talk about it.
yeah,
So
take us,
for, for me, so I started off with just trying to find shows, like find stuff to do. So, but I wasn't able to. I didn't have very much luck with trying to find shows, and so what I started with doing was actually TikTok live performing. So I would go onto TikTok and hit the live button, and I would start setting up shows for myself. I've always been the kind of person who's like super into throwing parties or like being someone who performs and entertains and stuff like that. Otherwise, I mean, why I wouldn't be an artist. But that was something that I've always been into, and without a proper route at first to get into performing, I kind of just decided to do it for myself. I was like, fuck it, why not, right? So how I started off was with doing TikTok live and just performing to a crowd of online people, no one in person, and just like doing that as practice, getting into the motions, learning how to set up a performance, stuff like that, and learning like how to work with the equipment, rehearsing my songs, all that fun stuff. And from there, I had to do like a lot of research. That lasted for a while. I would say up until a year ago, I was doing TikTok live shows, and then more so recent, like this year recently, has been where I've actually gone on to do live in-person performances on stages and stuff like that. And I only got into it because I did a massive amount of research. Like I used AI, I was on Google, looking through I was looking through, social media to try to find people who know how to even get into that kind of stuff. And for me, it was like it took me so long to figure out the right way of doing it, but eventually I was able to find the right people, and through talking with friends and um talking to talking to other people, I was able to figure out the best way of going about it, and that got me one of my first gigs, which was performing at a pizza joint. And yeah, it was a really small show, but it was a really cool experience to get to do a live show and getting to be that my first performance was in person. It felt like it was like a real thing. And from there, I've just more so now recently done a lot more shows in person, getting to be at different little smaller events, getting to do an open mic tour, getting to perform at a nightclub, getting to do some other little shows as well on the side. But yeah, that's how I would sum it up.
yeah, no, that's good. And that's important for other artists that may be watching and going, well, how do we get into this? And how do we do that? And, so it's good advice because, like I said, you're new to the industry, and it's good to see where your mind is at on like
Yeah, yeah.
how are you getting into things and what's
It's a lot
pushing
of
you.
research. That's the
It's a
best way to
lot
put
of
it.
research. Yeah.
It's different for everyone, and you might not find the same things that I find. So I don't want to give like too much information. I'll keep it a little broad, but
Yeah.
it
No.
was just you got to research what's proper for you, and you know you got to make your own
Yeah.
stage at the end of the day. That's the best way of putting it.
Yeah. No, it's very true because also with different genres of music out there, there are certain places to perform.
Yeah,
Some places don't allow rock or hip hop or
yeah,
whatever. Like a country bar isn't going to take someone
yeah.
unless it's like rock country or something, right?
Actually, you were
So,
talking about earlier how Calgary's known for rap music, which isn't entirely true, believe it or not. Calgary's known for country music, folk music, and jazz music mainly. And I had to find that out the hard way, is why I'm mentioning it now. It was bad. Like it was it's not easy. But yeah, yeah, there was there's places that will only accept specifically live music. And why I put that in
yeah,
quotes is because it's it's instrumental music. So someone like me, who is
yeah,
a rap artist, who is mainly considered a vocalist professionally, we can't go and perform at a place that hosts live music, because somewhere that wants that kind of music is would consider it something closer to karaoke than actual live performing. So yeah,
yeah.
in a place like Calgary, it's not easy to find a venue to actually do a live performance at, but there are some that are around. That's still true.
Right? There are some around, you have to dig for it. So,
You do,
just
yeah.
like you
That's
said, Yeah,
night.
live music is very different than just singing or performing like that. So it's
Yeah,
you
yeah,
find out very quickly the differences in the venues in the city, what they allow, their rules and
yeah,
performing, how long your sets are allowed to be, the
yeah.
crowd that you're allowed to bring in, what type of a crowd, how many people. Like there's so many restrictions that no one ever really knows about. You think you just can go and show up and
Oh
no.
yeah, yeah. There's a lot to it. It's not
Yeah.
easy. Even just
Yeah.
showing up for an open mic, there's a list of rules you gotta follow, and it's definitely intense when you first start out. But like, if you can find the right venues that are for you, I mean, even pop artists have a hard time here. But like, if you can find the right venues that are for you, it makes it a lot easier for sure.
Yeah, yeah. So do your research, number one. And two, don't be afraid to ask questions as well. And don't be afraid to network with other people in the community, whether they're of the same genre or not, because in the music industry, there is somebody that knows someone somewhere along the line that can give you or help you out with some information or get you to where you want to go. So that's also another big tip that I can give anyone is to seriously do research and to be able to connect with people because
Yeah, I'd agree.
that's why Connected with Cari is good because you connect with me and I connect with people and
Socialize. Yeah,
right, that's what
socializing
the
is a
show's
huge
about.
thing.
Right, totally about that. I wanted to ask you a question. Now I totally don't even remember it.
Oh, you're
Darn
good.
it.
I'm
It'll
I'm all
pop up
for it.
whenever it pops up, whatever, it's all good. So, but I do want to ask you about how it was for your first performance.
It was So by then I had already kind of got into it with doing open mics, but I would say it was like I got butterflies. It was definitely nerve-wracking, but it felt comfortable to me.
Yeah,
It
which
was
actually
like,
did tie into my other question. I was going to ask you about doing the TikToks because
okay, sure.
with doing TikToks, you're just setting a camera up and it's just in your
Yeah.
studio or wherever
Yeah.
you are, live on location, doing something
Phone,
wherever,
you post it out somewhere. Yeah, it's literally like that.
right? Take us through the differences of the two, whether you're just doing it at home or studio, whatever, into going into an actual setting. What was like the culture shock of it all to you?
Well, first of all, there's no room for error. You don't really get a place to make too much of a mess, you could say. With performing on TikTok live, I mean, that is still a live venue, but like you have it in a little bit more controlled environment, you could say. Like it's a little bit more personal to you. Like I just used to do it in my house. So I would just set up the camera and I would just do it just like that and prepare myself for doing live performances. And that's something that, I mean, it took a little while to get used to, but it felt a lot easier to be able to perform on TikTok live at first than it did to perform in person at first. And yeah, you don't really get a like you can only practice and prepare yourself so much before it actually happens, but I would say the biggest difference I noticed, and in a good way, was I felt more at home performing live on stage in person than I have ever did performing live on TikTok. On TikTok, it felt more like doing it for the theatrics, whereas being on an actual stage, I felt like how I'm supposed to, as an actual performer, as the artist that I am. And so that was something that meant a lot more to me.
I did it like, were you scared? Were you nervous? Were you,
I
what
was,
kind of flooded you when you were like, oh, I'm going on stage, actually on stage?
you go through a range of emotions, but I've never been someone who's been like terrified or like outwardly scared to perform. I've always like, this is what I meant to do. This is the entirety of my life. If I didn't make music, I don't know what I'd be doing. But yeah, like
TikToks.
no, sure, sure, you can say that. No, but like it's yeah, I went through a range of emotions getting up on stage for the first time, and everyone gets the butterflies, everyone gets the feeling, and you might get a little bit of anxiety and whatnot. But the difference is that it felt comfortable to me, and that's the best way I could explain it. Is just regardless of everything that was running through my mind, and regardless of how my physical body felt, I was
Yeah.
just going for it. I was just there, and yeah, I
Yeah.
felt like a part of the space properly.
Did it help that it was a smaller venue and not like a bigger crowd? Do you think that
Oh,
contributed to?
yeah, definitely. Getting to be in a place where you have like it still felt controlled is the best way to put it, and getting to be in a space where you have, not too many people to start out with. You get to have maybe like friends and family around, or like even people who are regulars that you've met before at the same venue. Yeah, it makes it way easier to perform than if you have a sea of strangers and it's your first time being on stage like America's Got Talent style. Like you would that's not fun at all.
I actually prefer the opposite.
Really?
I prefer the opposite because it's even like doing these shows where I couldn't, well, I mean, this show I can't even tell you. Sometimes my mom watches, sometimes she doesn't.
Yeah.
She'll usually comment and say hi or whatever. But
Yeah.
for the most part, I think I get more nervous knowing that somebody I know is watching because I
can
think they're
understand
more
that. Like
critical.
to an extent, because you feel a different level of judging. Like you feel someone who's known history about you watching you, and that gives you like that gives them like a weird advantage over you. You could say, yeah. So I understand that completely, but you know,
Right?
to each their own is the best way to say it.
Yeah. Yeah. Whereas you're practicing on a bunch of strangers and you're like, I don't care if I screw up, whatever. It doesn't matter. Like they don't know me,
Yeah. I mean,
whatever.
it's always just when someone's starting out. After a while, though, you get used to it regardless. So it doesn't really matter at a certain point. I mean, maybe you'll feel like a kind of bias towards a certain type of crowd, but I would assume for me personally, I've never felt anything past like the first show that I did. I kind of just like I'm good for everything now.
Yeah. You think you're ready for the big leagues?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Throw you in the mix. Talk about the next thing that's coming up for you.
Sure. Like music wise.
Yeah.
Okay.
What do you got for us in the background? Like what are
Yeah, yeah,
some magical things happening in the
yeah.
mix?
I got you. So I got a bunch of singles that are dropping soon, and I have an album in the works currently. But I'm the most excited for for the singles that I'm dropping because I've been working more on the style of music that I'm dropping more so, and I've kind of leaned more towards emo rap music and making that the dominant thing that I'm dropping. So yeah, if you like emo rap music and you're someone who wants to keep up with me, I would suggest that now would probably be the best time because the style of music that I like to make the most is the one that I'm focusing on the heaviest, which is emo rap music. But yeah, I mean, otherwise, if you want something a little bit different, I have music that's always dropping on SoundCloud, and that's where I like to drop my most like experimental stuff, you could say. So yeah,
Okay. So can you bring up something for us that you're working on?
I mean,
Yeah,
you want
thanks.
like sure, I guess.
Yeah,
let's see, let's see what I got.
we got some time because this is your performers, like your audience that you're
No,
performing
yeah, yeah.
for.
I appreciate you asking. Sure, I'll show you a song that I'm dropping.
And this is the perfect
Figure out a
place
share screen
for
song.
new releases to come out and for people to listen and go yay or nay, or maybe they
Well,
are first
yeah,
time
for
hearing
like
music.
for uh for outside of music, sorry, I'm a little distracted trying to do the share screen thing. Um, for stuff that's outside of music, just to take a second, I'm dropping a new vlog soon. That's going to be about the Calgary Stampede. Since you brought that up earlier,
Yeah.
like I said, I was there for 3 days, so I made a whole new vlog, just going out and getting to experience the Stampede, and that's something that I'm working on, like currently editing, and will be dropping soon.
Yeah. No, that's good. I think when we are in a type of industry where we are performing for other people, that we should be going and dipping into the culture that is around us and to see the different styles of what's going on behind the scenes of different music and everything. Because I have seen a couple of your vlogs and I was like,
Yeah.
okay, he's checking out the country music. And I was going to ask you, oh, what did you think about the country music
Oh,
going
I hate
on?
country music, but I like, going to places like the Stampede because it's a party regardless. I'm a big party person. Yeah. Sorry, I didn't mean to spring that on you, but like since you're asking.
No, I wanted to know
Yeah.
because some country music or like just like like Nelly and Florida Georgia Line, you know, they collabed and they made, you know, different songs or things like that. Would you do a collab with a country artist?
No, no, I don't think so. It's like too far off for me. I've tried making like boom bap music after I've
Yeah.
accepted that I'm an emo rap artist, and even then, like I can make boom bap music no problem, but it's just too far off of a genre for me to keep up with it, you know? It's not
Yeah.
like I can't do it, it's just it feels uncomfortable to me to not
Mm.
make emo rap music or not make rock music. You know, those are the two things that I always want to be doing. And so making something like country, it would just feel I don't know, it would just feel fake is the best way to put it. It wouldn't be like a real song to me, you know?
Okay. No, that's
Yeah.
good to know. Because just wanted to see what different artists like to dabble in and try
No, absolutely. Like I
how far of a
appreciate music that
stretch,
comes from a collab place.
right? Because now that we've kind of documented this, we can come back in a couple years and who knows where you'll be. You
See
may
if that
be
changed? Yeah. No, I get it.
you're like Jelly
Vert,
Roll on stage where you look totally punk rap and or punk rock and you're totally singing country. You never know.
yeah, no, yeah. I mean, we'll
Right?
see. I highly doubt it though.
Just checking. Who knows? How you doing with finding your thing there?
Oh, I'm good. I'm ready. I was just,
Okay. Well, I like to give people time to because I just sprung it on you. So
Yeah,
I
no.
just like give you some time to be able to look and because I'm the same, it takes me a bit to have to look for things and share things and all that. So okay, we're ready when you are.
No, I got the song popped up. It looks like
Okay.
it's good.
Take us through okay, I'm gonna just get you to play it and then we're gonna kind of dissect it after.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Let me know if it's working. Is it playing? Can y'all hear it?
No,
Yeah? Okay.
no. Can't really hear it. Oh, barely.
Better?
Mm-mm.
Higher? That's max.
Oh, you know, I think it's because you're plugged in
Probably.
to the other feed. Okay, well,
I feel like all right, so instead of showing an unreleased, I feel like the best way of doing it would be to show the audience what I have up on YouTube.
okay,
Since we
let's
can
go
do
to
things like that.
YouTube. Okay,
So I did drop a new song very recently. It's called Spaz, and that's a song that I did drop. That's like brand new, about a week now old, I would say.
okay. Do you want me to look for it or
Yeah.
you?
Since it sounds a little more muted on my side, probably.
Okay, so let's see if I can find it. It's called Spaz.
Yeah.
S-P-A-Z.
Yeah.
S-P-A-Z.
I
Okay.
can also send the link if you can't find it.
I've got, well, it says view full playlist. Okay, so hold on. Oh, there it is. Okay, let me just. Pause that, make it full screen before we go here. Okay. All right.
Yeah, that's the one.
All right, here we go. Let's check it out.
Watch out, I kick in the door. Act like I've been here before. I get it and go. Walk in a room full of dope, a couple of hoes. Just look like the shit from the shows. Everybody out on their own. I'm in the mix of the world, it's out of control. Dealing with shit, I suppose. Those couple of hoes, they're trying to have me for a good time. Everywhere I go, it's panels. Jump like they're throwing a tantrum. I'm in this shit like it's ransom. Clap like we doing some stand-up. Gas, roll up fast. Pack smell like some handsome. Spaz out of my manners. Show you why I came to spaz out. Roll up, shit takes me soda. Hold up, shit takes me hitting my phone wild. Shit takes me talking about go wild. You say get it, I'm known now. Who's sexy? None of my profile. Still cash, watching what goes on. I don't even slow down, no. Bring me the pole. At it again, fit night. I've been. I can't see the side. I swerve. I can't read any signs. Words are turning. I'm being all nice. Turn it back up. Flash space out. Everybody out of my way now. Stab, getting my K now. Everyone saying my name now. They ain't been saying enough. Swear I just heard that shit out of the jungle. Someone was saying I'm on. Another was saying I ain't. Alright, go. Let them all know. Walking right up like I met them before. Talking my shit like I've been here before. Let them be seeing who they speaking on. I done went back to back to back. One about this, me selling some dope. I done went stat for stat for stat. Now I've been the reason to let's go. Saving my vestments. Fuck how you dressing them all. I be seeing his clothes. I don't like all the guessing shit. Keep up with testing shit. Ego on someone you know. I don't like all the sentiment. Feels like you relevant. Telling me something I know. I couldn't bother be busy with little shit. Bitch, I'm right back to turn around. Watch how I kick in the door. Act like I've been here before. I get it and go. Walk in a room full of dope. A couple of hoes. This look like the shit from the shows. Everybody out on their own. Not in the mix in the world. It's out of control. Dealing with shit, I suppose. Those couple of hoes. They're trying to have me for a good time. Everywhere I go, it's panels. Jump like they're throwing a tantrum. I'm in this shit like it's ransom. Clap like we doing some stand-up. Gas, rolling up fast. Pack smell like some handsome. Spaz out of my manners. Show you why I came to turn out.
Okay. I was like, where did we all go?
What did you think?
Spaz. Sounds like someone's spazzing out.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's the point. It's
Right.
meant to feel like you're at like what happens at a party, or like how
Yeah.
my mentality is when it comes to partying and like, you know, throwing a show, stuff like that. How I
Yeah.
kind of feel.
See, it's interesting because, again, when we don't recognize or we are not used to certain music, to hear it from the perspective of the artist. See, this is why when you like send me music, I'm like, I'm probably gonna listen to like this much of it. Only
That's fair.
because when I have them on the show, I get a chance, an opportunity to see the artist side of their music. Why are you making it this way? Why are you sounding this way? Why is it like this? Because I want to
Yeah.
understand the perspective of your side, the
Yeah, you
artist
want to hear like
side.
the actual value to it and why it's a proper song. You rather
Yeah.
listen to it with the person who made the song than, you know, on your own, unless you actually genuinely enjoy the music. I can appreciate that. 100%.
Because sometimes, you know, we all have to give different genres a chance, whether we like them or not, because I think sometimes
Yeah.
we overlook things and we're like, okay, well, we don't like that genre and we're just going to shove it to the side. Whereas it shouldn't be like that. It's like, you know,
No,
I
yeah.
know
I would
you don't
agree.
like country or whatever, but I'm going to even just use that. Like, it's sometimes
Sure.
good to listen to a different genre because it stretches out, one, your imagination, and two, go, why is the artist? It makes you question, right?
100%. I agree with you
And
on that. You know, it's
and I
not just
think
about. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
no, keep going.
Okay. Yeah. My fault. It's not just about, you know, not liking a genre. It's about also like people like to dogpile on, or
Yeah.
we said peer pressure before, but also the idea of like, you know, feeling fearful or uncomfortable with something, you know, you don't give it a
Yeah.
proper chance, and you don't get to understand what the entire point of it is and why someone else might like it. You know, maybe you like it and you might like being a fan of the music and the people who like that kind of music as well. So
Yeah. No, it's an understanding as well. And I think it's very important these days that TikTok's been great. Vlogging is great because
TikTok
you
is
get
amazing.
to see yeah, you can understand the artist just a little bit more instead of just like turning on the radio. And unless you truly know the artist that's on the radio that's playing their song, which most of the time we do.
Yeah,
But when there's an upcoming artist or anyone that's totally underground, it's like we don't get to really know them unless we're following social media. And even
yeah,
then, sometimes if you go and you look, say, just at Instagram, they may or may not have clips of music. They may only have vlogs. They may not, we don't get the full understanding of who they truly are unless they're sharing a part of their life or their story going, this is why I make this music, or this is the sound, this is why. Because if I just went on YouTube and I came across that, I'd be like, okay, maybe not. And
that's fair. Yeah, if it's not your specific taste in music, then I can understand that. You
right, but
know,
I want
I
to
don't like
always,
country music, but I do like,
yeah,
you could say, like, a very specific kind of blues music, and I
yeah,
don't like hyper pop music, but I do like digicore, as
right,
examples of, like, sister genres to the type of music that is very popular and recognized.
yeah, totally. I love that. I love that answer because it's very true. Everything actually corresponds when it comes to music. Like the original music was classical music, believe it or not. And then it
Yeah.
grew from there and it became each genre that it came from because someone's imagination said, hey, I want to switch it and make
Yeah,
this
yeah,
note
for better
longer
or for
or
worse.
yeah, put some different lyrics behind it, put some different music behind it. Like it's amazing, different beats. It's amazing what you can do with music these days. And it's just like people sometimes their thoughts are just in a box and it's like no, like get creative, do these things. And when it comes to also spirituality with music, there's also messages inside of our music
Oh,
that we
100%,
listen to or we make because it's part of who we are, right? Which is totally cool
100%,
and
yeah.
amazing. Now, you were saying, I just kind of want to go back a little bit into performing
Yeah, yeah,
before
for
we
sure.
kind of close out because, yeah, we're going to wrap up here
Running on
soon.
an hour? Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Running an hour. Yeah, for those of you the guys that just tuned in, I'm live with Cult5, and we did start a little bit early, which is great on our end because we got more time
Probably the
in.
longest show that you've done so far?
No, I've done almost a 2-hour show before.
Really? Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, it was pretty
Hey, but
cool.
I'm up there though, I know that.
Well, we got to have some fun. Also, I'm going to have Cult5 back and we're going to actually do like a listening party where we're
For
going to
sure,
have
I'd be more than happy to.
bring on SoundCloud, and we're gonna listen to a few different tracks because sometimes, again, I like the stories behind the tracks and why we make them and what's going on through the artist's head. Maybe it was a hard time in your life. Maybe it's connected to some trauma. It could be connected to a happy time. It could be connected to whatever. And I like to
Yeah,
see the differences in the music because then it tells a huge story. Like you said, it's a beginning, middle, end, and sometimes an album, which you said you will be releasing soon, has that aspect of a beginning, middle, and an end. Where
it does.
sometimes people randomly throw things together. But I like an album that has a beginning, middle, and end because it tells a massive story.
I do too, and that's kinda like the main style of albums that I like to make, is something with that kinda structure, you know?
Yeah.
Or like a structure that's easily recognized in general, not just throwing songs into a playlist for someone to listen to, not always.
Yeah. I found that because I kind of grew up in an era where CDs are huge but it's like whenever I get a CD and it's like my favorite artist,
Yeah,
I will always listen to the whole thing once. And then what ends up happening is almost always, say there's 12 tracks to a CD. It's
yeah,
almost always the first couple tracks are like
like
killer,
gold. Yeah.
right? They hook you in. It's the hook, basically.
Hmm.
And then in the middle, there's always one just floating around in there, and you're like, oh yeah, yeah, this is like my
Yeah,
favorite one.
that's
It's
true.
like been on the radio. It's like, yeah, I love this one. It's like the windows down, it's summer, this is the track you're gonna pump up. And then the last couple songs somewhere in there, which is smart, but not smart because I always skip the songs that I don't well, that I don't really give them a chance,
Yeah, yeah.
right? So I'm like, okay, I like track 1, track 3, track 7, track 8. the other ones kind of miss out all the love that the artist gave them.
Yeah.
So that's why I kind of like don't like CDs, but I also kind of like the albums because it tells the story.
I mean,
So I like that
that's like
you're
to each their own kind of thing, you know? Like
right. Yeah.
oftentimes, unless it's a compilation, is I feel like what you're talking about more when it's just songs that are thrown in randomly, or you know, a proper album is always going to be what's usually put onto a CD because you take the album off of Spotify and you take those songs and put them onto CD, vinyl, pressed, and other the other types of ways to release music. But yeah, with songs like that, having different types of music popped in, that's more of a compilation that you might hear on a CD. Usually it's only for CDs.
Yeah. Okay, good. Don't do that. I want to enjoy the story. I want to enjoy the ride. I want to enjoy what's this telling me? What's the story behind it? What is the artist telling me? I think that's the best thing out there is for any artist to be able to go, hey, so we will do that when it comes to even just throwing out some of your YouTube music or this or that, whatever. Like
Absolutely.
we'll go through.
I would love to come back on and get to do a listening party. That'd be awesome.
I'm not
one for like explaining every song when they come up, but I'd be more than happy to explain like a couple, and then we just go through and have exactly that, a listening party.
Yeah, we'll do that. We'll maybe throw some blogs in there, and we'll do things here and there. I was gonna throw a blog in, but I was like, nah, we'll hear from you actually about your headliner, because I was gonna throw up your headliner, but I think it's important that we hear it from you.
That a little bit more.
Right? It's fun. Now, the next thing, and we're gonna close out, is take us to, because I heard you're going to do a festival or something. So take us through what is the next thing that Cult5 is going to surprise us with, so that we can actually either get tickets to or make sure that we're showing up for
sure.
Take us through that.
So coming up soon, I have a festival. It's called Summer Revolution, and it's hosted by Fresh Out the Trap. And they are when is it? I'm performing on the 30th, but it is a 3-day festival that's happening in Calgary, Alberta. And give me a second to pull up the location. That's why I'm on my phone.
We'll let him look for it. And also,
there it is.
Right here we go.
We can't see. Okay, so it's called the Summer Revolution, and it's happening from July 30th to August 1st. It's going to be at 1048 21 Ave Southeast. So if you're in Calgary at the time and you want to come to a festival, see me perform, and get to see a bunch of other artists on stage, and get to meet a whole bunch of different creatives, come pull up. It's going to be a fun show.
That'll be fun, especially because it's July and it's kind of festival season, and we love festivals here in Calgary.
Calgary Stampede,
right?
Great time to host a festival.
Right, all the time. So many amazing festivals happening in the city. When you post that up, or when you get a flyer for that, if you post it up, tag me, and then I will post it up on my socials as well.
Yeah, for sure. I'll send it to you. Absolutely.
Yeah, we'll do that. And then that way no one misses out on what's going on. Right? Awesome. Okay. Now we're at an hour mark. So
we're running
first of all,
overtime.
Yeah, no, we're good. We're good. Okay, we are going to wrap up, but I actually just want to say thank you.
Absolutely.
For just because I know you, whatever, it's all good, but I don't do anyone any favors. Cult5 had to work very, very hard to get to where he is today. I've been watching his journey, just like all the guests that have come on my show. Sometimes on social media with them, sometimes I know them personally. And when I know someone personally, it takes them a lot before they're allowed to come on my show, because I'm a stickler.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for having me on, Carrie. You're very welcome. I have to see growth, and I have to see what's going on. And because I get excited when I see my people's growth and friends' growth and family, whoever they may be. And I'm like, okay, this is cool. And I get excited, but I also want to share with others because I think it's worth sharing. And because our city loves music, we love festivals, we love what's going on. And because we also air out to local, like this is the Lethbridge and Calgary surrounding areas. So those of you who are listening and you do want to come out to the festivals, please come to Calgary and check out our artists, because they're working very, very,
Hell yeah.
very, very hard behind the scenes to get to where they are today, to be able to go and perform. They've done millions of hours on TikTok.
More than that, to be honest. I post every single day. I lost count.
Right. I'm just throwing it out there. Who knows what they do behind the scenes? No, I'm just kidding. But they are very active on socials, and they've been working very hard. And I've seen even artists that have been around for many years that are known, and sometimes they're not active on social media, and sometimes I'm like, what happened to these artists? So if you are an artist and you are on socials, please do keep active, even if you're not fully making music behind the scenes. I think it's very good for, vlogs are really cool, and just to kind of pop in and go, hey, I'm making this or doing this, because sometimes what happens is that people will search your social media and they don't see it, and they're like, what's going on? And sometimes they will unfollow you. So I am actually one of those persons that I will go through my socials and see the artist and see what's going on and what's happening. So anyone who's watching, any artist that's coming on, Cult5, tell your artist friends as well. Like, tell them to keep active, keep grinding, keep doing it, because great things will always happen, and it gets bigger and it gets better. And always let us know what's happening, so we can pop on and do the things and come out to shows and all that. So that's so important. So thank you so very much for letting us know what's going on in your world. Also, to wrap up, let us know where we can find you and all the good stuff.
Sure.
And any last tiny little tidbit that you want to put out.
Sure. Yeah. So you can find me on everything under my name, Cult5, CULT, the number 5IVE. Like I said, I'm on YouTube and Instagram and TikTok and a lot of other social medias. Just my at Cult5 is how you can find me. And yeah. Do I have anything to wrap up with?
And don't forget the number 5. Don't forget the number 5
Yeah.
in
Don't
his
forget the number
name.
5.
Okay, and then your last golden nugget, whether it be random advice, it could be a word of the day, it could be just anything that just you want your listeners to.
I hope y'all are ready for the show, because we ain't stopping here. It's just getting started.
All right, you heard it here. Thank you so much, Cult5, for coming on to Connected with Cari. And we will have you back. We're gonna have you back. And with that, hope you guys have a great evening. We will see you guys soon. There we go. Another Connect with Cari in the books. These are the artists that I appreciate so much, that work behind the scenes so hard, that are doing their music, whether they're writing, they're freestyling, whether they're learning what to do next in their genre, whatever, they're doing research. I love to see artists doing that, coming on and grinding and just telling me how they're doing, what they're doing. And it becomes so interesting and exciting to see how they grow over the years. So if you are an artist that would love to come on the show, please email me, hit me up on socials, tag me on things, whatever it may be, send me links. I will go and I usually check it out and see whether, what you've been doing. Please just don't send me one track. Like if it's an Instagram and it's just one thing there, because I will not go to that. I'm sorry. I love y'all. I love your music, but I would love to see so much more, because I think it's worth sharing, right? Absolutely. But do tell me a little bit about yourself. Absolutely. So with that, hope you guys have a great, safe rest of your Stampede. We got tonight happening, lots of shows going on. Please stay safe out there. And also Sunday, tomorrow is the last day of Stampede as well. Have fun, stay safe, stay hydrated, and most of all, stay connected. Have a good evening.